So I kind of.
Well, hello, wealthy women. It is another time for another beautiful success story. So today we have Aysleth with us, and she is an amazing book publisher. If you've had the desire in your heart to write a book, create a book, or you're thinking about doing it one day, you will definitely want to listen to this interview. She will give you a little feedback about her business, tell you more, and then we will just go from there. So I will pass the camera over to you and go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So hello, my name's Aysleth Stutts. I go by Sachi Ice Queen on a lot of social medias. I am a podcaster as in addition to being a publisher. And so, stories is something that I've always been interested in. My bachelor's is in journalism, my emphasis print. So that's where the passion to write came from. And all of the editing skills and all of that, that's where it stems from. So I have about 7 years under my belt because I did 3 years in high school as well. So that's a little bit, I graduated at Arkansas Tech University, and I originally am from California, but I've lived in Arkansas for about 20 years. So I live in Central Arkansas now. I have a son, he's autistic. And so I like to not only tell people to share their story on paper, but also verbally to be speakers.
I love that. And that's where your podcasting comes in as well. You can help people create their own podcasts and publish that as well. So you basically are able to really help people get their message out there, get their story out there, whether it is book or podcast or both. And then I know that you also have translation abilities so that you can translate the books and so forth into different languages. So tell us more about that and how you go about doing that.
So yeah, I'm first generation born citizen here in the United States. My family is Latino, and so Spanish is I'm fluent in Spanish. I took all of the grammar classes in college, and I, I'm very familiar with not only the grammar aspect of it, but also the culture aspect of it. So it becomes a little bit more personal when you kind of want to share your story in another language so that you can reach not only twice the audience, but also connect with people that you might have never even thought to connect with because of that language barrier.
I love that this is something that you can do to help people. And like you said, share the message to a much wider base of people. And I think that is such important work. And so just out of curiosity, if someone were wanting to write a book, how would you start the process to help them? Like what can they when they work with you, what can they expect, how the process goes?
So we do a lot of book coaching. We want to know what type of book they want to write. If it's a devotional book, if it's just their story, fiction story. It just depends what the author wants. And so we kind of help them kind of organize it in a way that it'll be more readable, because a lot of the times people they have an idea but they don't know how to put the idea on paper, and so we help them in that process.
I love that. And that's so important because they'll come with the passion and they know what they want to say, but they don't always know the structure and format and the best way to get that. And I love that you're a book coach. I mean, this is such an important thing because there are many people that really want to share their story and write books. And it sounds like such a beautiful endeavor, but then once you have that idea, then what? Then what do? Get out a couple scraps of paper and write some things down, and the person's lost, and maybe they give it up and they're like, oh, I'll get to it another time. But when they have someone like you that's a book coach that can guide them, keep them on a timeline, maybe even keep them on track, let them know what their milestones are on the journey of their success journey to creating that. I think this you help them keep accountable and not only find their voice as well. So it's really important the work that you're doing because you're helping birth books, basically ideas that can be shared and help other people depending on what the subject matter is. And I love this. And so tell me a little bit more about the podcasting side of things, because
Mm.
I think, there's plenty of people that want to be authors, but now that podcasting is everybody wants to do it. It's a little bit technically difficult to figure it all out. There's steps involved. And again, how would you help a person that wants to start a podcast? Because I just really love the skill set that you have. And if we can share this with the people, then they really can see that, you can help them achieve that goal, and you'll step with them along the way so they actually can create a finished product and, at some point be very proud of themselves. The book is done, the podcast is going. So tell me a little bit more about the podcast side of things.
So yeah, Authors R Us is the name of the book publishing company. It's here based in Arkansas. We're the first bilingual, book publishing company. We wanted to publish in Spanish, and we didn't find that. And so me and my business partner created it. And that kind of stemmed from where both me and my business partner are both very involved in the Latino community. And so we didn't see enough leaders, business leaders in the Latino community side. So the podcasting was a way for us to reach those people, the new age, new people. And so we wanted to educate them, not only, empower them, but educate them too. That's why we have two. We have one in English and we have one in Spanglish, because even though we do translation, the podcasting, we focus a lot on, family matters, mental health, spirituality, just basically what you need to hear to keep going in your journey. And so that's very connected to the book publishing, because we help these people, not only share their story, but also get used to being on camera or in mic. And so that both of the podcasts were part of the nonprofit Learning Idiom. And so it breaks language barriers and culture barriers by perfecting your English and your Spanish. And so that was how the book publishing was the way that we would incentivize people to write in Spanish as well as in English, to practice their writing. Because why not get paid for something at the same time as you're learning the language? And so it was a good incentive for us to give the interns and the people who want to join.
I love this because it's so empowering to have people um, find their own voice and then feel that confidence to get out there and share it, and then the practice that they do to just become more and more proficient with it, and have like what you have set up for everybody is just fantastic. I love this. So what would be the best website for people that are interested in your work? Where should they go to find you?
So we're on all social medias. We also published a book, a bilingual. We're about to release it. It's the name of the podcast, Transcending La Familia. And so the other one is called Helping Hands with Hope. And so you can find us on all social medias, Learning Idiom or Authors Are Us. You can find us on all social medias. There's not, the Learning Idiom is kind of a unique name, so there's not very many out there, as well as my name too. If you just at my name, you'll find my website.
Okay.
We're on Linktree right now, but we are in process of getting a website done. But yeah, for sure. But yeah, just find us on social media. We have a Linktree, and so that's the easiest way, because we serve so many different types of people. The Linktree was kind of the easiest way to kind of categorize everyone. And so we just find us on social media, Instagram, TikTok,
And
Facebook,
I will
YouTube.
put your main Linktree link obviously on your page and in the show notes so that anyone who wants to go directly to see all of the offerings, they can find that at the Linktree. So thank you for sharing. I think it's so important what you're doing, and there's so many, you know, people that you will or already have helped. So I really applaud the work that you're doing. And now for our next part, we're going to do a bunch of success questions, and this is really helpful for many women that are building their businesses to be inspired by what you share, and also, you know, sometimes even someone who's, you know, been with their business for quite a while, they have those days where they need to be re-inspired. So I am looking forward to asking you some of the questions. So we'll get started with that. So let me see. So I basically have, you gave a very good reason, but just so I can go over it again, what is your biggest why for your business? Why did you want to create this? And what do you see for the big vision of your business for the future?
So the biggest why for me is, families, growth. I think when you have a serve mentality, you kind of want to, help people where they're at, and see their growth. I have a teacher's heart. I was a teacher for like 5 years. So it that part to me is the most exciting, is to see someone who didn't think they could be a published author, and that's one of their dreams come true. Like, to me, that's such an amazing feeling, to not only empower them but also, you know give them something that they didn't have, um, and make the process a lot easier for them. It's I think that's the biggest why, is just seeing the growth in people, and not only that, but also seeing, their success, seeing how it changes them as a person. Because I think when you write, you just kind of walk a little more different. You're a little more confident. You're a little bit more, yourself, because you are writing, and so when you're not just consuming, you change that mentality of becoming a consumer to being something, creating. I think being a
Love
creator
that.
instead of a consumer is something that not very many people know how to do. And when you kind of make that switch, I think it's definitely a special moment. And so I like to see that growth in people.
I love what you just said about that, because I don't even think sometimes we pay attention to how much we are consuming instead of creating. And I can see your point. Once you know you get into that creative zone and you let yourself out and free your voice, yes, I mean, I can feel like the energy around that, the spark that you have in your new way of being compared to just, you know, consuming, which is so lacking in energy of all sorts when you think about it. So I, even if somebody doesn't even want to necessarily create a book, what you just said will make everybody who does any type of journal writing just for their own self realize how important it is, because that's also a way of, you know, that creation of content, sharing, getting it out. And yeah, I love the way that you just said that about paying attention to not just being consuming everything, consuming, you know, it has to like recycle, right? To keep that energy flow.
Yeah, the way that
Consume,
I
but
see it is,
yeah.
when you exhale, that's when you're creating. When you inhale, that's when you're consuming. And so if you're just, constantly consuming, you can get overwhelmed. It's bad for you. There's been so many studies done on how much media affects people, and how it affects not only their spiritual, self, but also their mental health. And so when people create, there's this moment where they're like, oh, there's just that mind shift right there. I think
Oh,
it's something that's very special. And for me to encourage someone in their journey and also keep them accountable, because a lot of people, they need that accountability, because they procrastinate, or
Mhm.
and not everyone can go at their own pace. I think that's really important, that you have to be ready for it.
Yeah,
Not everyone can is ready to be an author. Not everyone is ready to have that stage and have that platform, because that's what a book does. It gives you a platform,
that's
and it's up
true.
to you to choose how you use that platform.
That's true. I guess I have a continuing question for this because this is really I really got this whole idea about don't consume, only consume. You must create and have content. Regardless of someone writing a book or even doing a podcast, if let's just say there might be someone out there who does not like to write. It's just not their thing. But this whole idea of creating and content, what other avenues would you suggest for somebody that, so they're not stuck in consuming, but they can create and, give, you know, exhale, so to speak, like you said, if it's not so-called writing, what could you suggest to them to get that same high of getting to know themselves better and that good feeling, that empowerment that comes with that?
So it would be, so like an audiobook. I think even if you just do an audiobook, or if you know how to draw, if you know how to paint, anything that triggers your artistic side of your brain, I think is gonna
Okay.
help. You know, I there's a lot of therapeutic art that people do, because it is a therapeutic process when you're you have that, you go through those stages. And so
Okay.
I think if you any kind of creative outlet that you can find, whether it be music, whether it be just
I love that.
scrapbooking.
Yeah, I kind of felt that that's, instinctively that felt like what it is. Anything that creates, that puts you in some sort of flow where you are your own best self in that, moment expression. But it wasn't, because we always think of content a lot, at least in this whole business world of, writing and speaking a lot. But it's nice to know that, you can have those things and also make sure that you're doing some creative things that have nothing to do with your business, just so you're getting that chance to get more connected with yourself and not be a consumer so much and all that good stuff. So I love it. Thank you. We spent a little time on that, but I think it's really important because it makes us have to say, let me pay attention to my activities. What am I doing? Where am I spending the majority of my time? Am I just scrolling, endlessly through social media without any kind of output? So yeah, it's important because you're right about the mental health. You get so bogged down and cluttered in your head and it doesn't feel good. It's almost like when you eat too much food, there's a point where it's just too much and it doesn't feel good and it's
Well, and
any
then you
kind of
become
consumption.
also stagnant.
Yeah,
And you and complacent too.
yeah,
You
yeah.
stay in that same spot.
You
Uh
create bad habits basically. Yeah.
and yeah, and that's, I mean, it boils down to your habits too. Like if you choose, today I'm going to do this, I have a to-do list and I'm going to do this,
Mhm.
make sure you schedule that in for your mental health, as business owners, as business leaders. You can't lead someone from an empty cup. And so you have to, first, I'm not sure where you're in your journey, spiritual journey you are, but change your victim mentality into a victor mentality. And so I think, a lot of people, they blame everyone else.
Mm.
And that's one of the first steps to being able to create, because you have to heal within yourself first. And so all that childhood trauma, relationship trauma, there's so many aspects that go into mental health. And so I think it's, when you are in that creative mode, you will get memories, you will have these things brought to your attention, because you're focusing on yourself. And so you're analyzing your past, you're analyzing your current self. And so I think it's definitely a healing process, but it's the best decision that you can make to be a better leader, because you're going to be more yourself, more united, more complete within yourself. Um, and so I think it's really, really important to take that time, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you do to connect with yourself and with God, or, who you believe in. I think that's really, really important, because um, if you don't take that time, your whole day, it can be rushed. It can feel, not, I'm not saying it's going to be worthless, but you just feel more accomplished,
Exactly.
because you're more in tune with yourself. And so
I
just
love it. It's yeah, setting up a proper foundation. And so basically I can imagine that this is one of your morning routines, to get into self-reflection and start the day off correctly. What are some of the morning routines that you do that you stick to all the time that work for you?
So I have positive affirmations. A
Mhm.
lot of the times we have to unlearn bad habits and bad words that have been said to us, or words that weren't said to us. There's so many words that weren't said to us that us as women, we don't believe, because nobody told them to us, or they told us the opposite. And so there's so many things that whatever you don't believe that you are, you're beautiful, you're attractive, um, you know, you you are one of a kind, you're unique. Those types of positive affirmations go a long way, because it helps you heal, from those words that were said against you, or the words that weren't said to you. And so positive affirmations is something that it really changes your mind, because it makes you, um, just have a different mentality, because you're speaking over your own body. I am a child of God. I am worthy and deserving of God's best. Those are things that, you have to believe. And even if you don't believe it when you're saying it, eventually you'll start believing it, and eventually you'll start walking with that confidence. And if you're not confident, say, I am confident, even if you don't believe it. I always put it on my mirrors, because even if I don't do it in the morning, or I do it in the night, um, I see it, and so it's reminded me. It reminds me throughout the day that, I am those things that I did not believe about myself at one time.
I love everything that you're saying as such foundational important structures that so have so much to do with your mental health and your foundation for creating. It's like a jumping platform to jump off of. When you get the platform, your foundation correct with your mindset, with your creation instead of only consumption, and you just do this repetitively, it changes your whole dynamic as a human, and you go forward in the world in such a different way. I just love everything that you're saying. It's so true. And a lot of times we don't keep up with those rituals, but they're so important. So, okay, let me get on to another. Thank you. It's very rich what you're saying. It's very full and rich, and it resonates. And the way you're sharing it, it's like you just know that yes, you are absolutely on the mark on that. So
I'm an ordained minister too, so that's something
nice.
that, faith is something that's very important to me. I'm Jewish, and so I don't practice Judaism, but I practice Christianity. But I think, if you don't have if you don't believe in yourself, definitely, definitely seek a higher power, look within yourself, look at the mirror, and start believing in yourself. And just, if that's one of the things that you need to say to yourself, I believe in myself. I can do this. I am able and capable of doing these things. There's so many people that they don't believe in themselves because nobody told them that.
Yeah.
Or,
Ex-
you are not the failure, that you are not failure is not, something that defines your life. Just because you failed once doesn't mean that, you're gonna, it doesn't define who you are. And then I do want to speak about one last, like in that when in that
Please, sure.
um fear is false evidence appearing real. And so if you're fearful of being successful or if you're fearful of failure, that's not something that's gonna catapult you to the next level. And so you have to make the decision to stop being fearful. You have to choose to be bold, choose to be who you were created to be. And that mindset again is so important, because fear stops so many people, and everyone struggles with it. Everyone does. And
Natural.
so just make sure when you those thoughts come in, you say to yourself, no, I am not going to, like, I catch myself too, and I'm like, nope, that thought was not a thought that I should be thinking. And so those are thoughts that you need to unlearn and learn what God says about you. And so I think that's really, really important for you to focus on those things, because it will help you live more freely, and it'll help your business too, because you'll be more happy. You'll be happy in what you're doing. So just make sure you do that.
So true. One of my favorites that I always go to when I have a little bit of fear is let go and let God. And that just does it for me. It's so simple, it's catchy. I have it written down, and I just it really is. And then I remember, I don't know if I'll remember the exact way she said it, but in one of my other success stories, she said, I said, well, when you're afraid, how do you get past that? And she goes, you can either have worry or faith. That's it. There's no other in between. So which one do you want to choose? You want to have faith or you want to have worry, because you can't do both at the same time. And I was like, it was just so simple. And yes, that was it. So this
I
is
mean,
great because
worrying about something doesn't change it.
no,
So
exactly. I
worrying
love
about
this
it doesn't change.
because yeah, everything that all of you women that are, whatever the fear is, there's always going to be fear in all different types of steps in your business, and you just have to go through it and know that you'll grow and you'll learn and you'll get better, and you just have faith in yourself. I love this. This is a very important message. So I already know that mindset is huge for you, as it is for me as a mindset coach. I think it's everything. I think 80% of your success in all parts of your life are how you set your mind to go forward with you, and then you'll figure out all the like strategies and systems that complement it. So okay, let me see what I wanted to say next. If you could only choose one answer, what is the number one way that building your business has enriched your life, and why would you encourage other women to build a business as a form of self-empowerment?
So you get to own your time. I think that's the best thing. When you own your time, you have the ability to create your own abundance.
Mm,
I think that's something that not very many people, um, you know, they don't have that boss, or, that CEO that they have to, always
yeah.
report to. And so I think that's when you have that, ability to be your own boss, that's when you can really, just um have the freedom. It really it's a freedom thing. You
Totally.
have the freedom to spend the time where you want to spend it, with who you want to spend it, how you want to spend it. And so I think that those are the main things that are such a valuable thing.
It
And
gives
it's
you
not for
space.
everyone either. It's not
That's
for
true.
everyone. Some people are extremely happy in their corporate jobs, and so I think that it's not for everyone, but if you
Yep.
are interested in that, then, and if it piques your interest, then um it is something that is it's valuable, because you get to again own your time. You have that
Yes.
freedom to spend the time with whoever you want to spend it. If you want
Yes.
to
And
take a day with your kids, and that's something that you can do. So
absolutely. You get to learn more about yourself and what you want because you have the space and the time to, to discover that. A lot of times when you're pressed so much with, the regular type of situation, you don't always have that luxury. But you're absolutely right. It's not for everybody. My husband would never want to own his own business. It's not for him. He likes that structure, the teams that he gets to, work with, and the reliability and not having to worry about certain things. So there's benefits to both sides, and it really is about what is the best fit for you. But what a great thing to have the option, and especially in today's day and age, there's so many resources for everybody, especially us women now, to just go for it. And women are building their own businesses at record speed now, and we have such a beautiful community of women that want to uplift women and help. Everybody's connecting and collaborating. That the idea of competition seems to be a thing of the past. It doesn't work anymore. Nobody wants that
Mhm.
mentality. And so,
Collaboration over competition.
yes,
And
absolutely.
I
And
will
it's
say this,
beautiful.
nobody is you. You are yourself.
Yes.
Don't if you struggle with um if you struggle with that limited belief where you think that, you're constantly comparing yourself with someone else. Again, do your mental health and your mental health exercises, and just know that nobody is you. Nobody has your memories. Nobody has your story. Nobody has your gift. Everyone has a gift. It's up to you to choose what to do with that gift.
Love it. I love it. It's so inspiring what you're saying. I love it. So let me ask you then, we all have challenges that come up with our businesses. What was one of your biggest challenges as you were, building your business, and how did you overcome it?
So there's a lot of challenges, that reminds me of a Bible verse, many are the trials of the righteous, but the Lord delivers them from all. Um, and I think when there's so many, challenges that come with building a business and not having enough, trusting your gift, trusting in yourself. I think and also valuing who you're worth, not learning how to say no, learning when to say no, to say your best yes.
Ooh,
And
say that again.
so
Learning when to say
learning
no.
learning to say no, to be able to say your best yes.
Love it. Love it.
There's so
Yep.
many people that they say yes to everything. They're a yes man, or they're a yes woman. And um
The boundaries are so important to put into
boundaries
place.
are so important. Oh yeah, they sure are. So when it comes to, your challenges, whether it be money, whether it be time, um, I think organization is key. Um, if you have, and also if you need to contract out, work, I think it motivates you because you're paying someone to do something. And so it'll give you that push and also that freedom of time. If you don't like one specific thing that you don't like to do in your business, um, you know, find a way for you to find, a collaboration or a business, a partner, or someone who can see your vision and see your mission and want to join you. Um, and so I think that's one of the challenges that I had was learning how to say no, to be able to say my best yes. And that came with you have to be very careful who you can trust. And so
Yeah.
that's one of the things, who you can trust with your baby, because
Yeah.
your business is your baby,
Absolutely.
it's your idea, it's
It's
your vision, it's your mission,
so
and
true.
so learning who you can trust with that, and to make sure that they uphold your standards and your morals and your that responsibility. I think that's one of the things that I struggled with, and the way that I overcame that was I just I prayed. I prayed and asked for God and asked for guidance, and I just that's how I got through it is I prayed.
Yeah,
uh, and I constantly pray. I pray for all of my viewers. I pray for all of the people that I help and that God has aligned me with. And so I know that it's for a purpose and a reason. And
I
maybe it's
love
for a
it.
reason, maybe it's for a longer time, but it's up to God. And so I think when you know, have those struggles, just know that that help is there and it kind of settles your mind a little bit, gives you peace so that
Hmm.
you make decisions out of place of peace and not a place of chaos and not a
Yes,
place of stress,
yes. And be open enough and receptive enough to be able to feel it, and you'll know when it's right. You'll just get a sense. I tend to do this when I'm meditating, and I call in, God, I have this issue, and what is the best way to, what is whatever it might be, and then I just get quiet and I wait, and it doesn't always come right away, but that question, that desire to know more is out there, and it's just a matter of time before you just get it and it clicks. So on the next question, what is a day in your life that is a successful day? Like, what is the perfect successful day for you? How does that look?
So, that's funny. There every day is different. When you're a business owner, yeah, you're probably doing the same things over and over, but you're doing it with different people. Um, you know, if you do networking events, that's one of my favorite things. I'm that weird person that loves talking to strangers.
I
You know,
like that too.
the I think when you have that, charismatic, and you want to meet new people to be able to serve them more. I think that's something that, is really, really helpful. But the networking events are always fun. They're not all the time, but they are one of the successful days for me because I get to connect with so many people.
Yeah,
I get to connect, and
that
that's one thing.
energy.
If you're just gonna meet them, make sure you get their information, make sure
Yes,
you do the follow-up, make sure you do all those steps. Because if you just meet them and you never contact them, that information is just sitting there. It's not gonna do anything if you don't.
have a plan, right?
Yeah, you have to have a plan.
Speaking of plans, when you first started your business, what was your initial way of marketing it? Because a lot of women here are new business owners. They get overwhelmed by all of the marketing possibilities. They need to, get the word out about their business, but sometimes they don't know where to start. They try and learn everything. They go in circles and not much progress is made. So if you had to give them like one piece of advice on how to begin to market their business, what would you suggest to them?
Don't recreate the wheel. Um, Look at, the type of business that you do have, look how other people are doing it. And then just learn how to brand yourself, set yourself apart. I think branding is really, really important when it comes to marketing. If you have something that people can identify themselves with, I think it's gonna help. And so if you're having problems with marketing and having like where to start, uh, Google is really, really Google was my best friend in college.
Yeah. Mhm.
There's a lot of marketing ways that you can market your business, whatever type of business that it can. Social media is really good too, depending on the type of service that you have. Google ads. There's just a lot of ways that you can, market yourself. But I think before you market yourself, make sure you have that branding, make sure you have that logo, make sure you have that, foundation. That way you look more presentable and people want to go to you because you look more professional. Um,
Absolutely.
and
And
so,
know
yeah.
what your vision is. Yeah, absolutely. And then a final question. I'm so glad that we sort of elaborated on some of the questions we had because they were really important pieces. And we covered so much that I had some questions, but I feel like we have really like made beautiful points. You've made such beautiful points with it that I feel so great about this and the message that you're sharing. So our last question then is, what has been your biggest victory or milestone that you have achieved in your business so far?
Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so my son, he is an autistic preteen, and he's extremely nonverbal. And so I challenged him to write a book, and he's already written two. He's on his third book.
Oh, wow.
And so I think, when that was a big victory for me because it was a very personal victory. I got to finally see what goes on in his mind through reading his book. It's funny, I already knew he was a funny kid. Not very many people
Oh,
know because he's not that verbal, but that was the big victory for me because I
yeah.
could finally get a glimpse of what's going on in his mind because he was not talking, and he's finally talking a little bit more. And so just have him see that confidence of, oh, I made this. Oh, like that
Wow.
confidence boost in him was
Yeah,
really, really cool to see. Just to see that growth in him as a person. And I think as a mother, I mean, that to me was priceless.
that's
If I
everything.
became a publisher just for that moment, like, yeah.
Yes. And I must say that this will probably forever be the best answer to this question, no matter how many times I ask it, because to have you respond and share that, that is just phenomenal. Like, and exactly what you said, if everything that you have been doing was, see, now you're getting me emotional, but if everything that you were doing led to this moment where your child had this breakthrough that
Hmm.
has just warmed you over and up uplifted him in such a way. I mean, that is truly victorious. I
Oh
am
yeah, that
so
to me was a
thankful I
big
asked that
victory.
question. Wow, what a
Yeah.
way to close out our amazing interview. That was just really, I mean,
I mean, and well, and then it's really, I mean, to me, it was I didn't expect it. I think I didn't expect him to do it. And so whenever he did it, I was like, wow, and so if you don't challenge your kids, then they're not going to feel challenged, and they're going to be just, doing
and this
what they usually do.
And
But
this goes right back to what we kind of started with. Don't be consumer, create. And you
yeah.
you pushed your son to create, and look what happened. It was a blessing for you, a blessing for him. You're getting to know each other better. His This is
Oh,
just
and it
beyond.
helps too because I can see his growth in his writing process because he does one every year. And
Wow.
so I can see the growth in his writing, and I can show him, hey, look, this is how you started, and this is your growth.
Progress.
And involve your kids in your business. A lot of people don't do that.
Yes.
They don't involve their kids. I involve my son when he wants to, and so if you just like a lot of people, they don't think to involve their kids, but I think if you have the time to have them do something, they want to be part of it. They want to be part of what you're doing. They look up to you. You're their parents, and they look up to you, and so
You
just
get
make
to know
sure.
your child more in the process,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you don't have to always just parent. You get to actually get to know each other so much. So Aysleth, this has been such a heartfelt, it's an inspirational business interview, but it went so far beyond that into the heart. It just, this was all heart. And I just loved this interview. Thank you so very much for this beautiful experience and this magic ending of our interview that just has got me really emotional. I'm really feeling the joy of this amazing victory breakthrough. So fantastic. So before we sign off, just go ahead and tell people once again where they can find you. And I am very much looking forward to sharing your story. So,
So yeah, Authors Are Us, just like Toys R Us, but Authors Are Us is a book publishing company. Um, Learning Idiom is the nonprofit as well. And then you can find us on social media. My name is Aysleth Zeledon. It's AYSLETHZELEDON and the number one. Um, my name is very rare, so if you just spell it right, you'll find me.
I love it. I love it. Uh, well, ladies, has this been such an inspiration to you? We have really touched base on the real foundational heart of the matter and all the things that can come off of that foundation that can lead you to your success. Listen to this interview over and over again. There is just gems everywhere in this interview. And please reach out to Aysleth and let her help you, talk with her, just get to know her better. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here and share this beautiful interview with me. And I am so impressed. And wealthy women out there, enjoy this beautiful interview and share it with your friends and family, because this is a message that everybody needs to hear. So until the next time, I will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Adios. Bye.